Basic
another
checks
video
look
of
good.
Colossus 101.
What's next?
In this video we're going to be deviating away from our mechanical foundations and looking more towards build design. I'm going to start off with beginner class Colossus. Note that all of these Colossuses are going to involve masterwork components and above. I will just say that your build doesn't particularly matter up until Colossus gets to masterwork components and stuff. Mainly because the technique used for very beginning gameplay is just stack on as much damage as you can, try and survive, and get your masterworks. So once you get your masterworks, you'll be here with me. We can start talking about what you should be maybe doing as a beginner. Now, as a beginner, health is always an issue for every person. It's not as bad as it used to be once Colossus got a really big health buff that it really didn't need, but it got it anyway. So now health isn't super important, but you're still going to have a learning phase. And so let's go ahead and make a build for that. So health is always important. A dead Colossus is the worst Colossus, right? You're not going to do any damage as a dead Colossus. So your go-to best friend is best defense. Best defense is going to be your heavy assault launcher, and what this one does is it fires a little rocket at enemies, and hitting an enemy with a rocket restores 35 armor. It also combos. Now that 35 armor stacks. So let's say you shoot 3 enemies. That's going to be 100% plus armor. So it's really useful if you're learning just how to, get into the middle of the fight, how to not die, because it gives you that trial and error ability out on the field to be in the middle of something you're not ready for, but still have an option to survive it. If you say, hey, okay, this is overwhelming me, I'm going to shoot my best defense and only go for enemies, you can go ahead and do that, and you'll have a full health bar again. So best defense, you're going to want one with charges. It just works better if you have at least one more charge. But it's not super necessary to have charges, but you'll notice the huge difference it makes when you have 100%, 200%, even 300% charges. 300% charges, you'll start feeling like you have too much. Again, it has your combos, so this is going to be sort of your 1-2 punch, whenever you set up a primer, which we'll talk about in a second. This will be, what you immediately go to press and detonate a good bit of combo damage on the field. Another good option is Again and Again. This is the Cataclysm version of Best Defense. My problems with it is it's too slow on the recharge, but it does detonate twice, so if you can make your own system to have 2 primers set up back to back, well timed, so that you get both detonates, that's good. You can go for it, and if you found you don't really need your best defense for the health, you might as well go for this one if you have one with a fair amount of charges. First to Crucible, it's not really anything you can do with that. It does a little bit of damage, but nothing substantial as far as a Colossus goes. Solvent Green is more of an intermediate assault launcher. You're not going to be using it for what it does. There's another weapon, the railgun. That thing is useless. Black Powder is useless. Black Powder is the most useless Colossus piece. So really your beginner heavy assault launchers are your Again and Again and your best defense, and those are the 2 you're going to want to be looking at. For your weapons, it doesn't matter. If you want to go for something like Rallner's for the priming effect, or Sentinel's Vengeance is the best Colossus grenade launcher. If you just want to go ahead and put that into your beginner build, that's a good idea, because this is the Colossus go-to gun. Rallner's is awesome, Fire Primer. And then you have your other weapons. You might want to just use one of these weapons as like a stat stick, which is what we call just to pad your health, or just to pad, your repair drop rate, or other things like that. So that's really all you don't worry about with your weapons. Rainmaker's always a good gun for boss damage if you feel like your single target damage is low, which it shouldn't be for Colossus, but if you feel like it is, Rainmaker's always a good option. Jara's is a good shield stripper if you feel like you are having problems with shields. Go ahead and think about using maybe a Jara's. And that's really it for Colossus. Either a stat stick, shield stripper, or single target with Rainmaker, or with Brawlers or Sentinel's Vengeance. Those are going to be heavy primer guns. Sentinel's Vengeance, I can't stress enough, is an amazing Colossus weapon. Its only downside is that it has a small magazine size, and so that can kind of be frustrating. You'll find yourself slowly reloading, every 3 fires, and that's kind of frustrating. Meteor Smash or Earthshaker. This is just the choice that every Colossus is going to have to make. Meteor Smash is insanely satisfying to use. It places a giant fire circle on the ground and primes a lot of enemies instantly. It's one of your better primers to go with, and it works really well with Best Defensor again and again, because you can melee the ground and then instantly fire off that Best Defensor again and again and get a good combo out of it. So Meteor Smash is good for that. It has fire tick damage, which a lot of people as Colossuses don't think about, but Storms are always thinking about their fire tick damage, which is actually pretty substantial in the long run. So Meteor Smash is a good choice. I always enjoy Earthshaker, but Earthshaker is more of a how to handle your combos, how to set up your primes. So Earthshaker is an amazing detonator. It is probably the best detonator in the game, because it'll triple detonate something, which there aren't many other things that I can think of in the game on all javelins that can triple detonate, but you really need to know your combos and how you set up your primes. So Earthshaker is a little more advanced, but it does have a good detonation effect, and if you don't have again and again or Best Defense on for some reason, Earthshaker is a good choice to go for your detonator. Now let's look at our ordnance launchers. For ordnance launchers, we'll take Dome, or Venom Storm, or Colossus Arc. These are the 3 kings of Colossus right now. Full Take Dome instantly primes anything around you. Instantly with ice. It is probably one of the quickest primers in the game. So it goes well if you're running a or if you had the again and again build. You could put on the ground a Meteor Smash, which would put down that fire circle, and then you would have your Voltaic Dome there to instantly undo that fire prime that you just detonated, set up a new ice prime, which would inevitably get overridden by the fire on the ground, and set up a brand new fire prime. And so that would help you with your detonates with that again and again. Venom Storm. Venom Storm is so obnoxious because a lot of players use it and don't know how to use it. They just fire it all over the place. They don't understand comboing. They just fire it at anything and everything and hope to do damage, which is what you'll be doing as a beginner. So it is the perfect beginner weapon because it does good damage and it will combo things randomly if you don't know what's going on, but there's primes in the field. So if you're like a brand new beginner and you really have no interest in the Colossus much further after that, Venom Storm is your best choice. Voltaic Dome and Colossus Arc are a little more complex in the way they're used. Venom Storm has some pretty cool mechanics that I'll talk about in other videos. And Boss's Arc is also pretty difficult to use, has some good mechanics as well as Voltaic. So they all have some pretty intense mechanics that you could spend a lot of hours learning and mastering. In my opinion, the best one is Voltaic Dome. It will always be the best, but a lot of people really prefer Boss's Arc, and a whole bunch of people use Venom Storm to their detriment because Venom Storm is one of the most difficult to make efficient on the field. It puts you in a lot of awkward situations, but again, it does make things easy, especially for a beginner. Radium and Furnace I like to keep on hand for fun builds like fire builds, and something like GM2 or GM1. This is maybe a good idea for you if you want to use something that just like spreads down a blanket of damage. But in GM3 it's not going to do very much damage compared to the other three. I don't even have any of the other components because I don't keep them. The Titan's Hail, which is the regular version of Venom Storm, does not combo. What else? There's the mortar called Final Judgment. It's the big mortar. Rarely works. Its intended effect is you multi-hit a couple enemies and you'll get a 200% damage. No, it's not even 200%. I think now it's 55%. A 55% damage increase, which is just like not worth it if it's not going to work all the time. It has a slow recharge. You only get one charge. It does detonate, but I mean, again, it's so slow. It's not worth using. So those are the ordnance launchers that you want to be looking at. So very beginner, maybe try out Venom Storm, see if you can make it work. Voltaic Dome and Colossus Arc are, in my opinion, the better choices, but they also require a little more learning and handling. For instance, with Voltaic Dome, you need to learn not to instantly prime things as they spawn, otherwise you'll prime them and freeze them before the game has registered their health bar, and so they will freeze unloaded and won't be able to take any damage. And so that's not, and people, it's really frustrating because you'll have a whole like spawn that's like frozen, taking no damage and unspawned, and everyone just looks at the area like, what's going on? This Colossus just, froze everything too early. And so that's things you gotta learn. This one you have to learn how to manage your charges, but it's very nice. And I'd say your ordnance launcher is probably the more important of the two bumpers or two gear weapons. Alright. Support gear, Berserker's Cry. The only one you should ever be using is Berserker's Cry. Surging Shield is okay, it's fine. But it's just nothing compared to Berserker's Cry. I mean, 30% damage decrease for starters on the enemy is substantial enough, but then you're going to tag on increases melee damage by 200%. 200% anything is always worth putting on. So, melee damage by 200% and reduces melee cooldowns. Now, this is probably the most important and my favorite part of Berserker's Cry is it essentially gets rid of your cooldown, which speeds up your ability to melee, which mixed with your short hop melees and shield cancels, which we talked about in mechanical foundations, you can just be meleeing everything to death. And so that's Berserker's Cry is really the only thing you should be using, in my honest opinion, because Surging Shield is good, but it's not as good as Berserker's Cry in it by any means. Alright, components. Oh boy. So nowadays, we're going to talk about beginner stuff. So we're not really going to think about universals for now. We're going to talk about, your beginner levels of component. Alright, so the two most important Colossus components we'll talk about right now off the bat, the two that will always be needed to be in your build, whether you're expert or beginner, is Catalytic Overdrive, which gives you a 50% combo increase, and nobody actually knows what that means. Ability damage by 40% is increased, but that's increased. But the big thing is that combo damage that's going to be increased. With the Colossus, you're going to be building combos. As a beginner, you just need to go ahead and know it. Colossus is going to be a combo machine, and you're going to have to learn how to do that. But this increases that blast combo damage by 50%. So every time you fire that best defense on a primed enemy, your damage is going to go up by 50%. Or it's not technically 50%, there's weird math, but it goes up by a substantial amount. The second most important Colossus piece shock treatment. Taking damage increases all damage by 8% for 10 seconds, which sounds small at first if you don't realize, think that through. It stacks 10 times. 8% times 10 is 80%. So essentially you get a free 80% damage whenever you're in combat, because as a Colossus you're going to get taken, shots at the entire time. You will have this up for most of the time until you get really good and kill everything so fast that you don't get this stacked. You will always have it maxed out at 10, 10s, 10, and it gets your 80% damage increase, which is across the board. It'll affect your ultimate, it'll affect your combos, it'll affect your melees, it'll affect your gun. Across the board, it increases by 80%. So this is probably the most important Colossus piece. And then followed by Catalyst Overdrive. The third nicest piece, in my opinion, is going to be Demolition Tribute. Now, melee hits will cause enemies to restore 20% armor when defeated. This helps you get off of best defense. Once you start feeling like you can lose the best defense and switch to Solving Green, or maybe you just want to have, or maybe just have it again and again and no best defense, this is a good way to help your Colossus maintain some health. Every time you melee, which again, as we've talked about in previous videos, is your bread and butter. Melee killing is what you're going to be doing. You get 20% armor restored after defeating an enemy, which will stack if you killed like 5 enemies in a big circle. You would get your whole health bar back. Emblem of Destruction. This one's pretty good. It's kind of misleading. You don't really know what that means. Performing a multi-kill will give you ultimate charges by 33%. What that basically means is every time you get a multi-kill or 5 kills with one shot, you will get another ultimate charge during your ultimate. So you can end up shooting ultimates back to back to back to back. And this will allow you to do some serious damage on the field. It's very satisfying. So you can end up shooting. I've shot up to 6 ultimates just using Emblem of Destruction. So that's a very good piece. Albative Shielding. It's basic. If you need health and armor, go ahead and put on an Albative Shielding. High capacity munitions. If you have a, Sentinel's Vengeance, the grenade launcher we were talking about, this is helpful for that. It'll increase your grenade launcher's ammo. Grand Entrance is super good for beginning Colossus. It basically doubles your melee damage, right? So if you're not worrying about combos or worrying about primes, this is going to double your raw damage essentially. As long as you do your short hop melees, because doing a short hop melee will trigger Grand Entrance. And what this does is it does an explosion at the point of impact. So that basically just means every time you do a short hop melee or do a landing melee, you're going to get an extra, something like 30 or 40 or 50,000 damage added to your raw damage. Synchronized frame, not too important. You don't really need to worry about synchronized frame. Vanguard's Emblem, if you are building like a elemental build, only fire on the Colossus, this is a good option. And so that's essentially all of the important Colossus beginner components. I'll save universal stuff for my intermediate and expert videos. You'll want to probably think about putting on Symbiotic Surge, even as a beginner. That's always just a good go-to universal to put on your Javelin. And Soften Blows you don't need to worry about for beginners. Emergency Power, if you find yourself dying a lot as a beginner, having an emergency power is always good. And that's really it for Bloodlust. Maybe, as we were talking about earlier, going to be doing a lot of melee kills, so having that 75% increase is good as a beginner. Those are your components. Appearance is always important. Go for something neat, go for something menacing.
There's my favorite customer.
That's it for your beginner levels. So you're going to want to prioritize health, little as possible. So you're going to want to have it, but don't lean into it too much. As a beginner Colossus, your goal is to abandon health and increase damage. So the more you can do that, the better you're going to be. But you can't right out the gate just run out there with no best defense, no armor, no demolition tribute, and expect to not die a lot. You got to learn how to really manage the field. So those are my tips on how to build your beginner Colossus. Again, let's recap. You're going to want to do a best defense, or again and again. Gun, it's either a stat stick or a primer, which is the two guns are Walner's Blaze or Sentinel's Vengeance. For your ordnance launcher, you're going to want to look at the Three Kings, Colossus Arc, Venom Storm, Full Take Dome. For components, three important pieces that you'll be wanting to look at. Two most important are light, shock treatment, most important. Calculated core drive, second most important. Demolition tribute and grand entrance are like the two optional importance. And then even maybe emblem of destruction, palpative shielding if you need some health. And for your support, Berserker Scry. That's all you ever need to choose. That's beginner Colossus.